No clue what's happening today. Not a great way to start a class, but you know my capabilities, so that's really so we're gonna lower all of our expectations and we'll have a great Sunday practice. I will get rid of the glasses now. Um, let's come on to a seated posture. I'm gonna sit on my block. As we kind of settle in to the practice today. So thank you. I feel like I really do need to thank people for dragging themselves out of bed and setting up a mat and doing all of these great things, because I realize it's that time of year where uh, our days are very short and quite precious. And plus, leading up to holidays, people are just feeling a lot of extra pressure. So thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Today we're gonna kind of build on this theme of how we embrace the day, especially as daylight is so brief right now. And I love this notion of breathe and smile and go slowly. Because often at this time of year, there's so much pressure and we're trying to fit everything in. And I can't think of any, hello, Jeff. Aw. And I can't think of any worse way to start a morning than kind of waking up and feeling in this frenzy or feeling rushed. And I understand that I'm very not necessary, Jeff. I'm very lucky because I've always been an early riser. So I'm the kind of person who tends to wake up without an alarm. And I like to get up early. I'd like to have lots of time before I have to go and be responsible about something. So part of what I don't do, though, is really encourage myself to both breathe and smile. And smile you can translate into a broader kind of approach to the day. So don't wake up and focus on your anxieties and all the crap that maybe you have to deal with, but start your day in that positive way. So even this morning, I tried to do that. I woke up this morning, took some deep breaths, had a lovely dog with me. And then rather than kind of running through, I have to do this, I just thought about, what am I grateful for in this moment? And I also allowed myself to smile. So with all of that, we are going to go slowly into our practice this morning. So bring your shoulders up, back, and down. Arms are wherever they want to be. And we'll close the eyes and start to think about some of the reasons that you might have to smile. So start to calm and deepen the breath as you think about these positive things. Again, we are knowledgeable now that if we think about positive things, our brain doesn't know the difference between a thought and real life. So we have all the benefits of thinking of those positive things, those things that we have to smile about. As you're sitting here breathing, I encourage you to do a really big smile. Everybody's eyes are closed. Don't worry about looking weird. Just give a big smile, enough to scrunch up through your eyes. Feel it in your cheeks. Breathe through it. And we do this because of the facial feedback hypothesis, which basically says if you smile, your brain has a moment where it goes, oh, what? We're happy. Okay, great. Let me catch up. And then you get a release of happy feelings and chemicals. And that in itself is a great way to start the day. Let's open the eyes, sweep the arms up over top of your head. And wiggle fingers in the air. Bring your arms down, roll the shoulders back, take one hand in front. You're going to take your other hand. I feel like a magician with my other hand. I'm going to kind of pull back all the fingers. So it's coming straight out from the shoulder, pulling back. Can confirm while we're doing this. Very proud of myself. I wore a dark shirt this morning because I was eating very ripe pears. Once again, whole new batch. But this morning when I dribbled pear juice on my shirt, it didn't matter. All right, gently release, bring the arm down, other arm out, almost like you're pushing a wall and then pulling those fingers back. Now, while you're doing this, keep the breath deep and don't feel rushed. Let's relax. Two fists out front. Circles. And confirm Jeff is watching the snowfall. I can also confirm Jeff is a fan of the snow. That's what Jeff is smiling about. Me, not so much. So I'm finding other things to smile about. Let's reverse the wrists. And we're just going to do this with the wrists. So try not to do arms, just really focus on the wrists. And then a little shake. Ted also, I'd like to update you, does not like snow as much. My kind of guy. All right, let's come on to the hands and knees. Nice tabletop to begin, and just tap the tops of your feet on the floor. And then very slowly start to kind of walk your way back. We're going to come into a child's pose, but going mindfully. This is such a great release, especially in the morning for this low back area. Sometimes depending on how we sleep, it gets tight. So just allow it to release. And what we want to do is just start to slide down. Take your time. Notice where the tightness is. Breathe really deeply. From here, start to walk your arms out to one side, left or right, doesn't matter. Just reach out kind of diagonally and then sink back down. So I've started to stretch to the right. I'm going to really reach up through my left fingertips and pull back through my left hip. Again, breathing deeply. Move back to center and then across to the other side. And really kind of welcome that side body stretch through the fingertips. pulling back through the hip. Move your hands back to center and let's pull up gently up to the hands and knees, flip your toes, and then we're going to come all the way up into a downward facing dog. Core is tight. Keep your knees bent. Maybe move around a little bit here. Again, slow movements. Check in with yourself, make sure you are smiling. Walk the hands back towards the feet. Keeping the knees bent, head down. Pull in through your core, tuck the tail under and start to roll up. Roll your shoulders all the way back. Let's come to a nice relaxed standing position. Cool. All right. So we're going to do a version of cat-cow, but we're going to do it standing. And I've been, my low back's been really tight the past couple of weeks. Too much sitting at work and it's been cold and icy. So I'm walking like I normally wouldn't walk, and I'm wearing different footwear because it's suddenly winter. So this is a stretch that I've been doing, and I feel it's great in the morning. So let me just position myself this way, because what we're going to do is we're in a nice standing posture. My hands are on my thighs. And what we want to do here is we're going to be just sliding the hands down towards the knees, keeping that back nice and straight. And then we're going to come back up. We'll set up before we do this, but what I want you to really focus on is tight through the core. Your core is what really needs to be engaged. And then just that gentle sliding of the hands up and down, keeping the shoulder blades together so the chest remains proud, but doing that while you have a really nice kind of straight spine. So find your feet first on the mat, arches are lifted. Bring your shoulders up, back, and down. Arms are heavy. And get even taller. So feeling your head and neck pull out of your shoulders. Fingertips are stretching down towards the floor. Lots of nice deep breaths. Tuck your tail a little bit here and allow yourself a moment to kind of pull up and back through the core. And then holding this here, bring your arms all the way up into the air. We will do that squat stretch in a moment, but first we're going to lengthen. So as your arms are up in the air and you're just reaching up, keep the shoulder blades moving together. Draw your attention to the core. You want to keep those hips tucked under and pulling up and back through the core. You should feel your ribs kind of circling in. Keep this really active. Are you starting to feel like your core is really working? I am. So we're going to hold it a little bit longer. Lots of deep breath. If this is not fun, smile. That's not a test, just smile, it makes it better. Few more breath. And then sink your arms down, roll them down the back. Good. Now bring your hands to the thighs, shoulders back. Take a breath in. As you exhale, slowly coming forward. Keep a long neck. Inhale back up. And as you come up, tail is tucked, core is tight. Exhale. Inhale. Your legs should feel like they are working. Exhale. Inhale. Breathing out. Inhale up. Let's do one more. Exhale. Maybe go a little bit deeper. Inhale up. Good. Shake it out a little bit. Okay, now we're going to turn this into a cat-cow. So to do that, everything is the same as it was. But this time what we're going to do as we start to come forward, we're going to round the back. And then as we come up, a nice arch, shoulders come together, really getting this great scoop. That'll be our inhale. And the exhale, we're coming down, your chin can tuck into your chest. So how deeply your knees are bent, that's totally up to you, whatever feels good. So we're gonna start again in our standing posture. Arms are up in the air, tucking the tail under, engaging through that core, deep breaths here. And smiling. Pushing down through the feet, keep the hips tucked, core is tight. Kind of pull those ribs in. Feel like your body is working. And then bring your shoulders and arms down, hands to the thighs. Let's take a breath in. As you exhale, rounding. Inhale. Arching. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Breathing up. And out. A few more of these. Inhale. You should feel like you're generating some heat in the body. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale, really round. Let's roll up. Roll your shoulders back and just kind of let it go. Nice. Bring your feet a little bit further than hip width apart. Knees are going to be a little bit soft. Shoulders roll back. Again, think about this as a whole bunch of stuff that are great to do early in the morning. I mean, it doesn't mean time-wise, early in your day. How about that? So you're out of bed, you've kind of been resting for however many hours. And so this is all meant to kind of really gently and slowly and mindfully open the body up to receive whatever the day is going to gift us with. Bring your hands to your hips, and then we're just going to start some hip circles. This is something that I do not do enough, mostly because it looks awkward. Very slowly, moving in one direction. And again, really adhere to that principle of tight core. Ribs are kind of rolled in. Tail is tucked under. It's amazing how doing this slowly, you start to feel all of these muscles kick in. And then switching directions. What I like about this is I'm pretty sure I could do this and drink a coffee at the same time. Few more of these. And then rolling back up. Let's bring our feet so that they're facing forward. They're underneath the hips. Shoulders stay up, back, and down. Shoulder blades are going to kind of come together a little bit to lift the chest. Tail remains tucked. Ribs are coming in. Core is tight and lifted. All of these great principles. I'm going to spread the toes even wider on my left foot because I'm going to bring my right leg up and forward. I'm pointing my foot first and then flexing, point, and flex, supporting legs a little bit bent, point, and flex. Good. Now with a soft foot, we're going to circle with the legs, small circles. You can bring your hands to your hips, out to the sides, whatever you want, just very slow, steady circles. Maybe an inhale and an exhale. Really slow, really mindful. If this feels like it sucks, smile. Feel everything working? Because I do. Couple more. And put the foot down, roll your shoulders. Good. Wiggle your feet. Lift that same leg back up again. So we are tiring stuff out. That's cool. Whatever direction you did naturally the first time, reverse it. Please remember to breathe deeply. And enjoy the lack of balance. Like, embrace it. It's okay. Notice where you're feeling this. I'm feeling it in the glute of my supporting leg. And if I slow it down, whoo, even more so. And let's release that. Give anything that needs a rub a rub. Setting up for the other side. I'm looking forward to the messages I'm going to get after the class, which are like, I thought that would be easy, but slow and mindful doesn't have to be without the potential to build strength in our body. Sometimes that's exactly when it happens. All right, let's try the other leg. So lifting up here, pointing the foot, flexing, pointing, and flexing. We'll do one more point and flex. And then a soft foot. I'm also softening my shoulders, and we start to do these slow circles. You want to make it physically more challenging, get a little bit more dopamine or endorphins, you can try and raise the leg a little bit higher. Let's switch directions. The switching of directions is not something my brain is enjoying. I feel like my whole body is starting to twist, twist to the north. Sometimes in my head it goes better than it actually goes once the camera's on. Few more of these. Oh my word. I hope you're feeling it as much as I am. And oh, that's just release. Bring our hands to the thighs, coming up. Roll the shoulders back, arching, lifting the chest to the sky, and then softening here. Different than what we did previously. Don't worry about the flat back. I want you to round down slowly, bringing your fingers towards the mat. Drop the head, breathing. Walk your hands around to the left side of the body, please. You want to straighten the legs a little bit here, you can. Work within your comfort zone. Back to center. And to the other side. I'm certainly feeling my hamstrings are tucking back. Come back to center, bend your knees a little bit. Nice slow sweep up with the arms. Looking up to the sky, leaning back. And roll the shoulders down. Good. Take a nice wide stance. And just gently moving from side to side. As you're kind of swaying, check in with yourself. See how you're feeling. You should feel like you were just doing something challenging because you were. Good. Excellent. So while we're in this wide stance and while we are at least somewhat willing to kind of challenge our balance and challenge our abilities to find strength, which can be hard often earlier in our day. Sometimes we need that time to wake up, fuel maybe more than a drippy pear. But I want to go through another bit of a slow range of motion piece just to think about how we embrace the day in this very slow, mindful process with lots of deep breath. And again, smiling helps. So I'm going to kind of lean into one side and then do a big sweep across, landing my foot slowly. Then the other side, come across. Arms can be wherever they are for comfort, but I want you to join me when you're ready and just explore this slow range of motion and think about what's the hardest part? Is it the lifting? Is it the controlled release of the leg? Is it feeling the floor? I'm happy this is a virtual class because you can't hear me going like "Gum, gum" with my feet when I land. Ah. Feel comfortable going at your own pace. Maybe think about even a larger range of motion. And when we release, good. This time, we're gonna switch this a little bit. I want to invite you to do the sweep, step down, second position tree for a couple of breaths. Then we sweep, let down, second position tree, couple of breaths. Big sweep from here, across, second position tree. Change the position of your hand. See how this benefits or not. Big sweep. Landing. As you hear, same principle, tail tucks, ribs rolling, tight core. Big sweep. Second position. Switch your arms again. Big sweep. Second position. Think about how we were extending the arms earlier, really lifting up here. Big sweep. Second position. Let's do another one here. Big sweep. Second position. Check your breath, check your smile. And let's finish with one here. And I'm going to bring my hands to the heart and release. Very nice. Roll your shoulders. Excellent. All righty. We want to take it to the back body now. If you need to have a hand on something for support, if you have a chair, all of that is good. You might not need anything. We're going to do a little bit of a back kick. Again, what we're trying to do is lengthen and stretch through some of our hip flexors. So think about the piriformis here, especially for anybody who is kind of person who sleeps in a ball, maybe on your side. It's very much how I sleep. And so when I get up in the morning, part of what I need to go through is kind of unfolding and opening everything. So this little kickback, for lack of a better word, is really a great option. Nice and tall. All of the things happening. Tail is tucked, core is up and back, hips, ribs. I don't know what hips are, or hips. Ribs are rolling in, shoulders down. Bring a leg back behind so your toe is on the floor. Take a moment to feel a sense of balance and grounding into your supporting leg. Maybe a little bit of a bend in that knee on the front leg. And then we're going to just lift up. And then we're going to lift 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep going. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pull that leg through and up. Shoulders roll down. See if we can hold for 3 or 4 breaths. And then releasing. Good. Roll the shoulders. Make everything aligned perfectly. We're going to move to the other side. So your leg starts back. A little bit of a bend in your supporting leg. Get your sense of balance. Get yourself together. And then we're going to go again. So just lift the leg up slightly. I'm taking a moment to get my balance. And then we're going to do a 10 count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and bring that leg up to the chest. Shoulders roll down. And releasing, good. Roll your shoulders back. You're gonna weight bear on one leg, grab a foot, pulling it into the bum. Deep breath here. If you're comfortable, you could hold the foot with both hands, which can be a nice way to really open and lift the chest. If I can stop wobbling. And then releasing, roll the shoulder or shoulders, grab your other foot. I like that two-hand approach, so I'm going to do it again. Lots of deep breaths. Good. Shake it out. We're going to go back to that one more time. I know it's not super fun to do that kick, but it's really great. It's great for the glutes. And again, at this time of year when a lot of us are kind of not starting our days bounding outside, enjoying, it's really easy to lose some of the musculature that we keep toned and in shape by just walking around in good weather. So let's go back to this posture, standing nice and tall. So again, you're sick of hearing it, but one more reminder, hips tuck under, core up and back, ribs tucking in, shoulders down, arms can be wherever it feels good. Bring a toe back. Nice and long through the neck. Let's lift that leg up a little bit and then kicks for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This time, bring the leg forward, foot flexed. Lift up as high as you can. We're going to hold here for 10 seconds. This is really hard. Smile, it helps. A few more breaths. You can do it. Lift it a little bit higher. And releasing. Let's do the other side. Think about how good stretching is going to feel in a hot minute. All right, toe on the mat, chest is lifted, everything is beautifully aligned. Lift that leg up, and we're going to go for those kicks. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the leg forward, foot is flexed, lift it as high as you can. Lots of deep breath. Keep holding. Really deepen the breath, really smile. A few more breaths if you can. And then releasing. Beautiful big sweep up. Lean back. Swan dive forward. Fingertips to the floor. Drop your head. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, holding back down. Inhale, sweeping up. And release to the heart. Good. Let's come on down to the mat. I'm going to move my camera a little bit closer. Wonderful. Good stuff. All right. Let's come into a cobbler pose or seated butterfly. So soles of the feet come together. I always, even since I was a little kid, the minute I come into this posture, I wiggle my bum forward, sitting nice and tall. Shoulders are pushing together. Lots of deep breath. I couldn't tell what was behind me. It's a jet. It blends in with the decor. Few more breaths here. If you're comfortable, you could start to pull down towards your feet. And then coming back up. Let's bring the knees together. Hug in. Good. And while we're here in this cozy seated position, let's move into a little bit of the cow face pose. So I'm just gonna grab a foot and slide it behind. My other leg is going to cross over. Now, if this is as far as you get and you just want to hug that knee in and kind of wiggle around into this, maybe leaning in, you can do that. Don't worry, this is great. If you want to go a little bit further, pull that foot back and see what you can negotiate. So what I'm negotiating right now is a huge release of endorphins because my hips are tight as a walnut. I don't know if that's a saying, but it should be. So I have no idea why I said walnut. Oh my word. I think I've been looking at a lot of recent as we sit here and I'm trying to distract you from the discomfort of this posture. I've been looking at a bunch of vintage photos recently, like vintage holiday photos, and different kind of good housekeeping, amazing centerpieces, and a lot of stuff that was done with ham for whatever reason, and pickles and deviled eggs, big towering structures. Anyway, the other thing that I was noticing is a lot of like bowls of nuts, and I was thinking back to when I was a kid at this time of year, we would have bowls of walnuts and the nutcrackers, like just the metal ones, not the Tchaikovsky one. But anyway, really kind of, I think that's been sticking in my head. I think that was a very kind of 1970s get out the bowl of nuts, especially if company was coming. All right. If it's possible to lean into this just a little ways, we're not adding the arms here, just easing in. A couple of deep breaths. And then leaning back, let the legs release and relax. Good. So coming back up. And then grab your other leg. I think it's this one this time. And you can either, as I said, just kind of hold in here, or if you want to move all the way into the posture, that's good too. So again, I was mentioning earlier, sometimes when you wake up and if you're waking up and not having to jump out of bed right away, the mind can sometimes move on to, those negative things or things that cause us anxiety, the things that spin around in our heads. Also, I like to call them 3 a.m. thoughts because that's when they normally keep me company. But again, having kind of a go-to list of things when you wake up that you can focus on, again, what are some holiday traditions? What are things that are meaningful for you? What are you looking forward to this holiday season? All of those great things. Revisiting in your mind beautiful places that you've been or meaningful places that you've been. All of that is good. Couple more breaths here. You could ease forward if that feels okay. Let's let's release ourselves from the toil of the posture. Nice. Alrighty. Come on down to the back. Shoulders roll back into the floor. Taking some nice deep breaths. Spread your toes nice and wide. Lift up through the arches. Let's bring one leg up into the air. Foot is flexed. And very slowly, as this bent leg and the foot are pressing into the floor, start to bring this straight leg back slowly towards your body. Enjoy the stretches that you feel. Slow, incremental releasing. Soften the leg, let the foot come down, pull that knee into the tummy, and then stretch the other leg out. We're going to hold here for a few breaths. I'm going to take my opposite hand and start to guide this knee across the midline of the body. I'm stretching the arm out to the side while I do this to get this really kind of nice yin and yang thing happening. And you can move your knee and your leg around to get the best stretch. You're really focusing on the hip. And actually, I've got a little bit happening through my IT band today, so probably means I should get out a roller. Couple more breaths. And then bring the foot to the floor, both feet are together. Good. Setting up again for the other side. So arches are lifted, toes are spread, feet are active, and shoulders back. Slowly bringing the leg up into the air, flex the foot. We've switched sides now. And then very slowly, incrementally starting to pull that leg without using your arms towards your head. And as I'm pulling it back, I'm pushing down through my bent leg. Lots of deep breaths here. And again, if this is feeling boring or not fun, smile. Smile makes it better. Few more breaths. See if that leg can come even further back. And then pulling the knee down to the chest, release that other leg out on the floor. Shoulders are back. And then when you're ready, start to guide that leg across the midline, extending your other leg, your other arm out. Come back to center. Pull that knee in. Let's pull both knees in, maybe gently rocking side to side. Let's wrap this up with a spinal twist so arms come back into cactus if that works for you. Let's drop the legs to one side, head and shoulders pushing down in the opposite direction. Right through your core, bringing the legs up and across to the other side. Which I need to move so I don't jam into a sofa. And then come back to center and move yourself into the best possible position you can imagine for a very brief Shavasana. As you rest on your mat, let yourself melt into the floor. Let your body, let your mind, let everything be at peace. And just feel comforted and supported by the breath, by the rise and fall of the chest. And if you can, add a smile. Deepen your breath as you start to bring some movement back to your physical self. Move your head from shoulder to shoulder. Wiggle fingers and toes. Maybe it's nice to rub the hands together, warming them, and then placing them over your face. Have a couple more breaths. Wipe any stress away from your face. Have a really nice stretch from fingers to toes. Taller and stronger, ready for the day. And then grab a hold of your knees, give yourself an amazing hug, and move to a seated position. As you're sitting here breathing, just again, take your time, smile. I sound like that person, smile. Smiling helps though. This morning's practice was not easy, but it wasn't supposed to be. It was really just a different approach to an intentional start to a day that potentially will kind of open up the possibility of just even more amazing things happening. Let's bring our hands together in front of the heart. Just spend a moment accepting my gratitude that I am sharing with you all the way from Nova Scotia. We're going to do one more class next Sunday before we break for a few weeks over the holidays, because I know people are busy and probably don't need me in their living room on a Sunday morning, because you're going to have even more wonderful people there. And you're going to be able to just say, you know what, I don't need to do yoga for a little bit. I'm just going to do some other stuff and eat bonbons and maybe crack some walnuts. And I hope every moment will be joyful and wonderful. So we'll be back next week. And I hope everybody has an amazing day and a great week ahead. And remember that principle of breathe and smile and go slowly. Namaste.